A $5 super thanks to get this mailbag underway from William Cook. He says, I wonder with Pickens if it comes down to the number of years as it was with Micah. The years are always going to be a thing in contracts. The Cowboys love longer deals. They've gotten better about moving on beyond that. I think personal issues got in the way with Jerry and Micah in the end, which is stupid, but whatever. We're past it. I bet his age wants 4 years. Cowboys are a bit more okay to do that as of late. So, in general, I want to remind everybody, if you don't agree on the years, you don't agree on the money. You have to agree on both, because the longer you go, the higher the average per year is going to be. Otherwise, you're just doing a cheating backloading deal, and the player never sees it. Agents have gotten too wise to that style. Now, if you want into our weekly raffle entries, all you got to do is send in a $5 super thanks, and you are entered to signed Jake Ferguson jersey this week. William Cook, a $2 super chat. Overshown is who Jerry means by reinforcements. He can return, but how long will it take him to get football ready? Every year, without fail, week 5, Jerry Jones says we got reinforcements coming, because they put guys on IR like every other franchise does. It doesn't mean anything. He meant Mingo. He meant Carson. He kind of really meant Overshown in the end. I don't know the answer on Overshown. I think you clearly need him at linebacker. I also think, kind of like what you're alluding to there, William, what version of Overshown do we get is a pretty big unknown. Zach Crosby, a $2 super thanks. So the Bears' defense was a joke under Eberflus until they traded for Montez Sweat. Sweat's good, but far from lead edge rusher. Once up there, actually pretty good. Are there any reasonable under-the-radar edges that could be their Sweat? I think they should look to the Dolphins for Phillips and maybe one of their linebackers if they continue to be bad. I would probably agree. I think Bradley Phillip or Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb, two names to monitor. Jordan Brooks would be the linebacker I might have interest in for Miami. My issue is, I think Sweat is actually a very good edge. I think he's better than anything you have right now. I think Hendrickson fits that mold. He's not under the radar. But Sweat was very good. Really good, frankly. And would help them. They also had some good corners and better linebacker play. And I think skill talent-wise, I think the Bears had a little bit more underlying pieces that were better too, which is a concern. Will the Cowboys make a trade for a pass rusher? Y for yes, N for no. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Y for yes, N for no. Will the Cowboys end up making a trade for a pass rusher? From Stephen Goltz, why do you think the Packers didn't go for the touchdown in the last play instead of the field goal? Also, ties belong around the neck. It's a good line. Because a tie is better than a loss in the end. I think they mishandled the final couple minutes. They were a little bit too conservative. They were honestly too scared to let Dak Prescott get the football back. Maybe they were right to be scared of that, by the way. But that was a huge factor, that they didn't want to let Dak have a bunch of time and get the football back. So I think that absolutely was probably the main factor, and they kind of ran out of time in the end. $5 from Robert Simmons. What linebacker can we trade for? We need linebacker help. We did put this out, did a full video on free agents and trade targets. Trade targets I had mentioned, is DeMario Davis available as a rental? Maybe. Is Jordan Brooks available? Maybe. Logan Wilson from the Bengals? But the options, realistically, are not home run pieces, because it's October and you don't normally see elite level players available via the trade market. It's not the NBA where the player movement is constant. It's the NFL. It's a bit more muted. Today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it is good to be right. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, so you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Maybe you want more than on Justin Fields' passing yards, rush yards, TDs, because the Cowboys' defense is bad. I wouldn't blame you. And you can pick them all in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. You can follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app as well in the new feed tab, and you can follow their lineups in one click. This is my Prize Picks slate for Cowboys Jets, I got Brandon Aubrey more than field goals, Jake Ferguson more than receiving yards, Justin Fields more than 48.5 rushing yards because it's the Cowboys defense. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. $10 from William Cook. Once Winfrey and Turner are ready to return, who gets moved from the roster, if anyone? I don't know if we're going to see Payton Turner back. I kind of feel like he's just going to hang out unless they have a bunch of injuries. Maybe you see Perrion Winfrey back, but right now your lowest ranking defensive tackle is Jay Toia. So do you invent an injury there? Possible. Wouldn't be the first time the Cowboys have done something like that. I think both guys, because of the other pieces ahead of them, the Cowboys are going to take more of a slow approach. Tony Williams, I want to go back-to-back on his 2 super chats here because I think he's raised some very good points here. Why doesn't Eberflus change anything? It's annoying. Might as well be aggressive if you're going to give up 30 points. I'd rather blitz every play. Might as well. It's not that they get stops anyway. So I think from like an actual just flippant, I'll just blitz. If you're getting gashed playing conservative stuff, you actually should go be aggressive. If you can't stop explosives from happening, then you need to generate explosives on defense. I'm okay if you're giving up 28 points a game if you're forcing 2 or 3 turnovers. That totally changes the complexion. It changes your points per play, points per drive allowed. But if you're going to give up 30 points a game and not generate anything explosively, then what's the point in the end? So, Tony, I actually very much agree. I think he thinks his way still works, and at some point you have to kind of accept that. It's not. JB, any chance Guyton ends up back at right tackle? You wanted us to pick 2 stars. I did say pick a starter to the bench. Nathan Thomas, Terrence Steele, Tyler Guyton. If Steele is not one of them, is that the best play? It's a great question. I think it's a different answer short-term, long-term. I think long-term, unless the Cowboys get a new, higher investment than Guyton, you're probably going to keep him at left tackle. I do think he's been better this year. By no means perfect. This was a developmental tackle. There are going to be ups and downs, but you've won games and played well on offense with him out there. I think the issues he has, it's technique stuff. He's ducking his head. He's getting out of position. Those are the exact same at left tackle as they are at right tackle. So I think it's footwork. It's upper body technique. That's the issue. That's not going to change going from left to right tackle. Now, if you think Nathan Thomas is a better option at right tackle, okay. Not sure the Cowboys should be at that point. I think it is possible. I think a lot of it comes down to what do you do. If you spend a top 20 pick on a tackle and he's a right tackle, then you just keep him there. If he's left tackle, maybe you have that conversation. I think it is feasible. I don't think in season, though, it's going to happen. So grade Tyler Guyton. I want honest answers here so far this year. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comments section of today's show. Chris Romero, is Jaydon Blue going to play? If he does, what do you think his stat line will end up being? I think, A, he will play. Miles Sanders, filming this on our Thursday live show, has not yet returned to practice. Red flag, red flag. I would wager that Miles Sanders, or that Jaydon Blue, probably gets the Miles Sanders stat line. Maybe that's kind of similar to the Bears game, or it's similar to the Eagles game, where it's 5 to 8 touches, 5 to 7 touches, somewhere in that ballpark, like it kind of was the first 2 weeks of the season. The Sanders one, they actually put him in late and ran the ball out, so maybe not the Bears game. But Giants and the Eagles, 5 carries, 4 carries, 2 catches, 1 catch. Maybe it's a little bit higher on the catch side, but I think 5 to 7 touches, I think, is a realistic outcome for Jaydon Blue. Daniel M., if the Cowboys get both Hendrickson and Newsome in trades, does defense go from bad to average with the offense being elite? I think average is a potential goal there. I think it's feasible. I worry if Overshown comes back healthy and good, I think you're at least average there. My concern is the trade cost involved is probably a lot for those 2 players. And if you don't keep them, then A, you've kind of committed to that being your defense. You're kind of locking in a bunch of your money to Hendrickson and Newsome long term, and you're still kind of just average. and I don't have the draft capital to be even better. So like that, those are all kind of the pros and cons you have to weigh if you're the Dallas Cowboys. And that's why, in general, you don't see as much big-time action in the NFL trade-wise at the deadline. If you want to be as a part, I should say, of our Cowboys mailbags, hit the sub button. We do them live. You can super thanks to get in if you can't watch live as well. Hit that sub button so you don't miss out right now. YouTube.com/Cowboys TV. Hit that sub button right now. Ace 1900, we have a Matt Eberflus problem. If the Jets put up 40 on us, it's time to go. Does anyone disagree? I kind of don't. Matt Eberflus has to be better than what he has been. Like the defense for the Cowboys in general has been bad. It has not been a good enough defense overall. They've been straight up terrible. They're the worst third down defense in the NFL. You have to be better than that. If you can't stop the Jets, if you can't stop the Panthers, I don't know how you're realistically going to be better as the season plays out. From Kringle McKingleberry, that's what the Key and Peele skit name, is that right? It's a trap game versus the Jets. I remember the last time the Cowboys had a road game there. I do too. It was not fun. I don't think this can be a trap game. You're 1-2-1. You're below 500. It's not a trap game if the Cowboys lose. It's we're a bad team if the Cowboys lose. Packers-Browns, trap game, right? Cowboys Saints, felt like a trap game last year. They may have just been bad, but this is you've got one win this year. I don't think it's a trap game at all because I don't think you can be in a trap game. You just might not be good enough. That's the concern, especially on defense. Give me your score predictions between the Cowboys and the Jets. Sound off for me in the comments section of today's show with what you think the score will end up being. Roman says trade a first and a third for Sam Williams for Will Anderson Jr. I'm going to screenshot this and send it to Jeremy. I think he's got Yom Kippur today, or something like that. I don't know. I think he's out, but I know what he's going to say. Hell no. The Will Anderson trade package honestly is the Micah Parsons trade package. So a first and a third and a guy that, frankly, I don't think is playing well, period. I don't think Sam Williams has played well. To the point that, I think he should be the least amount of snaps being given to on your edge rushing group right now. I think it's been that poor. The Texans say hell no. Max Finnegan, hey, Tom, how much of the defensive issues would you put on 3 different coaches in 3 seasons? I think part of this is, those are some of your personnel issues. And you got Trayvon Diggs, borderline complaining about not playing enough man versus zone, although play well, buddy. Come on. Let's be serious here. Most of the quote was fine, actually. I think it kind of got overblown a little bit. But, you've got not only just 3 coaches in 3 seasons, you can go back to 2020 and you've had Mike Nolan in there too. You got your front office drafting for this defensive coordinator. Oh, he's gone. We're drafting this guy. Oh, he's gone. And that leads to some disjointedness with your personnel and your scheme. But it is up, so maybe you're, if you want to stick with the Bill Parcells analogy, maybe your ingredients that are being given to you from your front office aren't what you'd like to have if you are the defensive coordinator and the chef. But you're the chef. Make it work. You have functional ingredients. Shoot, man, you have enough to make me something that I can put over rice. It's not that hard, actually. You need to get something better. So there's a lot of blame to go around, but, man, my DC has to adjust better as well.